Okay, we are live. Good evening, everyone. This is Sheba, and I am your happy bug. And tonight we have a panel of women that is coming in to piggyback off the conversation we had on Talk Tuesday last week with the gentlemen. So welcome, everyone. We might have a couple people entering into our broadcast while we're already on, so you just please excuse us as the connectivity issues might pose as a problem throughout the night. So our goal is to entertain you, and hopefully we can get some well-needed answers answered tonight. So we're gonna have a show of hands. Everyone is gonna just kind of wave at the camera as I introduce them by name. So first we have Patricia Webster. We have Stephanie Smith. We have Jasmine Nelson. Ashley will be joining shortly. We just kind of so the question of the evening is right on the lower part of your page. It says, how did your man's behavior toward you after he cheated on you make you feel? Well, last week the question the men were, how was the woman expected to behave after she's been cheated on? So hopefully you guys were able to watch that. We have it was actually amazingly how people were able to watch that broadcast. So hopefully we could get the woman's side of things on this evening. So if you see at the lower part of the page, there's a banner going on the page, and that is my YouTube channel. I'm not sure if you're able to click on it from where you are, but please do so. Like, subscribe, and share. And every time we go live, you'll be able to you'll have the notifications that we're live. So welcome once again to Talk Tuesdays with the Happy Bug, and I am Sheba once again. I am your Happy Bug. I'll be your host for the evening. So we'll start right at the top of our page with Miss Patricia Webster, and she'll be giving us the first response as to how did your man's behavior towards you after he cheated on you make you feel. Now, mind you, the conversation is subject to move around, because we're talking about conversation. We're talking about relationships tonight. So this is a place where we can be free. So hopefully all the watchers can know that this is a free zone. So hopefully we don't offend you in any way, because it's not with that intention. It's just for us to be able to say exactly what we feel on this particular platform. So we'll go right ahead with Miss Patricia Webster. Welcome. We can't hear you, Pat.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, start over. Hi, Pat.
I was on mute.
I can tell.
My bad. I was reading the question, so I was just saying that at first it made me feel as though I had did something wrong. So you start to search yourself, and it's like, what did I do? What did I do to make this happen after being married this many years? Like, and the thing with me, in my situation, he didn't only cheat, he cheated and had a baby. So then we really had to start thinking like, I must be a bad person or something, because after being married just 7 years, I thought everything was going fine. But then one day, I just shook myself. What? I'm all that. It ain't nothing I did. He's all by himself. He just messed up, because I'm good. I'm perfect. Right. Great. You have to start fighting yourself, because if not, you'll find yourself in a position where you carry this condition with you everywhere you go. So even though after I stayed married 15 more years after the affair and the baby, but his level of insecurity and unable to trust me was really too much because you did something to me. Even if I did something, you don't know I did it. So your behavior is like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, you the one cheated. I'm going to the Walmart right here. What you mean? Am I going to be in the Walmart parking lot? No, I'm going to get eggs. So if you do that so long and so much, it begins to wear you down. So I started feeling like I didn't do anything wrong, but then I had to go back again and recheck myself and say it's not all his fault. Sometimes I like to blame the person who did the cheating, but I played a part in it. What did I do to cause that? You know, everybody, it has to be a 50, I would say 50-50, but then in this case, it was more 80-20. I'm the 20. Obviously, I'm the 20. He was the 80. So, but seriously, I had to really start checking myself and saying, what part did I play? Like, we like to blame them all the time. Like, he did. But was I paying attention? Was I attentive to what his needs were? Was I available when he needed me to be available? And it's those things that cause anybody to drift off into the other side. Did I talk when he wanted to talk? Or was I always too busy or always pushing myself away? So we had to start looking at that. So that was part of my experience with my husband having an affair and his behavior. His behavior was bad, y'all. His behavior was bad after he messed up. Like that whole blaming me and accusing me and at first when they start doing it at first, we don't look at it. But when you start thinking something must be wrong because you keep thinking I'm cheating or thinking I'm doing something, you must be got something going on. And it took a little while before I caught on, like, bruh, you got something going on because I'm going to church. I'm really at the church. You can pass and see my car at the church. Just peeking the door, I'm at the church. Like, what you talking about? So their behavior can be really, really, it can either affect you in a negative way, if you're not sure, or it can make you shake yourself and start to reveal who you really are. That way, it won't happen again. So if I decide to stay with him or move on with someone else, the errors that I did make that time, I wouldn't do those things again because I searched myself. Make sense?
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Do you think that there's really ever a true reason for someone to cheat?
Was that for me? Is that for me?
No, I'm asking because I think we're programmed as women to overstand that from our mates, and it's less likely. I think it's less likely for men to kind of receive that we will do it back, right? But a lot of times when we get caught, when they get caught, we tend to question ourselves, like, what could I have done that made it bad? What was wrong with me? There was probably nothing really wrong with you. And maybe the issue was him within himself, but we always look for a reason as if there could be something that kind of solidifies what he's done to us. So that's why I asked you that question, because you said you questioned yourself and you said that you said to yourself, what could I have done? Was I not being attentive? Like, yeah, maybe there was a disconnect somewhere, but he knew that that was something that was wrong. So to put it on you is kind of unfair.
It's true. However, I did go back and we sat down after everything and we talked about it. And can y'all believe what the problem was? Nothing. What? Nothing. There was no problem. The man said you were the perfect wife.
Yeah.
I got caught up with my friends, peer pressure. We think that peer pressure only apply to kids. Hello. No, it apply to grown men who little boys. Yeah. Little boys trapped in a grown man body. The man told me you was perfect, that you didn't do anything wrong. It was all me. Right. That's what he told me. I'm like, whoa, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard somebody say. But the question about the second question was that I don't think that there is ever a reason to do it. But me and my current boyfriend was talking about this the other night, saying women don't cheat for the same thing, for the same reasons.
Right.
So if your current mate is not a communicator, he's not talking, then, well, I have a philosophy. If him and I are having an argument or we're having a disagreement, I feel as though neither of us should go outside at that time. Mm-hmm. If I'm at my house and he's at his house, we need to find some kind of place to be, some kind of way to be in the same place while we're angry. Because what happens is that I'm mad about something that you said or you did. I go outside, I go to Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Winn-Dixie, Publix, and there he is in the line behind me, and he say the right word. All he said was hello, and he is happen to be your type. And that causes a whole nother thing, because now the thing that you was upset about, you found somebody who's you're not upset with about. So if it's talking, you can easily find somebody to communicate with, and then that causes a problem at home. So if you're having that problem, if you just talk about it, if people would just open their mouth and say what the problem is, that no matter how hurtful it is, you want to know the truth. The problem is all you want to do is play PS4 while I want to have a conversation.
Right.
So you don't want to talk.
Right.
Talk to them. Right.
So that's where communication comes in. So I guess we'll get back to that at a little later part of the broadcast. But thank you for opening for us, Miss Patricia. So next we're gonna have Miss Stephanie. Miss Stephanie, it's your chance to give us how did your man behave towards you after he cheated on you? Feel before yours.
You're breaking up. I didn't understand what you were saying. Say it again.
Okay, I apologize. I was introducing you. I was saying that it's basically your chance to get your reason as to how did your man behave towards you after he cheated on you make you feel.
Can you hear me clearly?
Okay. I can hear you now.
Okay, so I think I'm going to ask me the question again.
It's on the bottom. It says, how did your man's behavior towards you after he cheated on you make you feel?
Okay, so I was angry, but I was angry at myself. And I was angry at myself because I disregarded all the warning signs that led up to that. And the reason why I disregarded the warning signs because I didn't want my life to change, right? So I wasn't so shocked that he did it. I was shocked at the way he did it because I gave him more, what's the word can I use? I expected more from him. And when I say expected more from him, not far as cheating, but the way he did it, because I knew it was coming. I knew the ball was about to drop, right? Because I knew the place that we were at in our relationship. But again, I disregarded the signs because, you know, as women, we have intuition. And I disregarded all the signs because I didn't want to face the fact that my life was going to have to change because I wasn't going to tolerate it. Once it was presented to me, I knew that it was going to be over for me. So I was angry, not so much at him. I was more disappointed in him, but I was more angry at myself.
Okay. So since that's something that you feel that you won't tolerate, thank you. Since that's something you feel that you don't tolerate, at what point do you look within self and find out if there was something that maybe you could have done to be better? That maybe
it was definitely something that I could have done because for me, and I think we spoke about this before, for me, I look at cheating as a characteristic flaw, right? It's something that's going on behind the scenes that drives the outcome of cheating, right? So for me, I was working at a low vibration, meaning that all the things that brought all the things, majority of it was materialistic. All the things that this relationship added value to my life, I was willing to ignore the other things that we needed to be a good relationship. For an example, communication, right? Mm-hmm. Communication is key to a relationship. And I'm big on communication, and he wasn't. And that should have been something that should have been a deal breaker for me. Because if we're in a relationship and you're not willing to communicate, most likely you're not going to be willing to work through issues, right? And if we're not willing to do the work, it's only going to lead to other disasters that's going to lead to the breakup. So the responsibility or the ownership that I took was I disregarded a lot of the key things that build a good relationship because of what he added to my life monetarily, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
I didn't walk into the relationship thinking that way. I walked into the relationship thinking that this was somebody that had the values, and this is somebody that had the substance of a man that I wanted. And as I got further along in the relationship, I realized that I fell for the representative, not necessarily for who he was. And once I realized who he was and he didn't have the ingredients to make a healthy relationship with me, that was my opportunity to walk away. But by that point, we had built a life together, and I didn't want to give up on my lifestyle. So those were the things that I had to come to realization was my flaw, and was the things that I had to realize that those were the broken pieces of myself that allowed myself to disregard obvious things that would have led to cheating. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And the reason why I asked you that, because I think sometimes it's easier for people to walk away from things like, yes, we do ignore a lot of red flags. But I think through the process of ignoring red flags, it's a lot to do with the way that we're trying to make sure that we're working through the issues that we're having. Now, I know that for a lot of people, cheating is a deal breaker. Like, that's something that they can't handle. I wonder if is it self that you worry about the way it makes you feel, or is it absolutely the act of cheating that bothers you the most? Because some people get very embarrassed behind the process. It's a slight bit of embarrassment that comes along with it, because now everybody know, or who knows that I know that what he's doing to me. How does that make me look as a person, as a woman? You know what I mean? To everybody else.
So if I could address that, and thank you, Ms. Cornelius, for that chat. But if I could address that. So the act of cheating alone, and I thought about this when I knew I was coming onto the panel, right? So most women I know will stay in relationships after the man cheats. A lot of times cheating is not the deal breaker for a lot of women, right? It's okay. Because let's face the fact, a lot of things we know we just don't tell men, right? It's almost like the same concept when Beyonce came out with Becky with the good hair. Everybody didn't know we used to say that, right? So it's some things that we talk about that men just don't know. And I'm going to say it right now. Most women walk into relationships with the ideal that most men cheat, right? And most women think, in my mind, it's the way he did it, right? And embarrassment is definitely a key piece of it, right? Because at the end of the day, we're not surprised by the cheat. We're surprised about how you do it. We can ignore the cheat. We can't ignore how you did it. For an example, you're going to cheat, right? We expect that. But now you're cheating with no condoms. You're having a baby. You gave me a disease. Those kind of things, right? We expect you to cheat. Okay. Say it again.
Or she ugly as fuck.
Or that's another thing. Or that's another thing. Or
people.
She's ugly. And on top of that, a lot of your money is going towards her household. So I think for me, most women will not leave. The reason why I can't tolerate it, the reason why I can't tolerate the cheating is because for me, it's something that's going to always haunt me in different ways, right? So the act of it, we done established that you did. Okay, right? Now I have to be the kind of person that can work past it and build the trust back again, right? Because if we don't have trust, I'm only walking through this relationship being miserable like you're still doing it. I'm revisiting the same thing over and over and over again. Because most likely for me, I can't trust you anymore. Not only can I not trust that you don't have any discipline, right? Because for me, that's one of the reasons why you're cheating. And it's not the only reason, because again, for me, cheating is a characteristic flaw. So is it that you didn't have any discipline? Like, so now, for an example, so now, even if you're not doing it anymore, somewhere I'm still living with the fact that I know you are capable of doing it, right? And not only are you capable of doing it, you are capable of taking advantage of my trust because I trust you and you took advantage of it, right? Also, you're capable of not having discipline. Also, you have unrealistic expectations of this relationship because no relationship is going to be 100%. I'm not expecting that from you, but yet you're expecting that from me. So anytime we have any kind of problem and you're uncomfortable, this is the kind of behavior that you will display. So for me, I can't tolerate that.
Okay.
Because now for me, you are moving at a low vibration of a man.
Okay.
And if I'm at a low vibration, I can accept that you're at a low vibration. But for me, through all what I've been through, I have built myself up. I'm not the same woman I am, and I can't accept the energy you're trying to give me.
Okay. So we're going to come back with some more questions. And that was really good. Thank you so much, Stephanie. So we're going to...
You're welcome.
So let's see. LaFondra, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So you happen to come back in when you were just going to be next anyway. So that's perfect. So the floor belongs to you. And the question goes around just the same. How did your man's behavior towards you after he cheated on you make you feel? So let's talk.
It made me feel worthless. I had a lot of confidence at first. I thought I had everything under control. I got this man how I want him. To find out that's not how it was. So it made me start checking myself. Maybe I'm too fat. Maybe I'm not pretty enough. And it drove me into a depression stage. And I started reflecting myself, like the situation on myself. Maybe it's something I did to feel good about what he did, or make me not even feel good about what he did, but to make me feel better for the reason that he did it. And come to find out, it was no reason. We as women, we try to justify the behavior. But sometimes it's just them being in situations where they actually grow up with a mom that had to endure the same behavior that they're inflicting on us. So in his situation is he dealt with seeing his mom being cheated on. So even though he didn't like that behavior, it was familiar behavior to him. And he felt like that was the way to go. So a lot of times it's just them growing up, not having a positive male figure to show them how to treat a woman, how to respect a woman, how to, how a woman needs to be treated and things of that nature. So and it just made me just feel just very low. I started just making excuses. I went on a diet, pretty much a fast, maybe I need to become sexy. About to kill myself, but sometimes what's in a man with his upbringing, it has a lot to do with how he may treat you, because something he's seen and something he grew up with. So the behavior becomes familiar with him.
That's really cool. That's really deep. So do you think that cheating is an act of disrespect?
It is. on every ground. I really think cheating is an act. Hold on 1 second, please. It's the highest disrespect to me, because if I'm giving you all of me, why can't I receive that in return? If I'm not cheating, why are you doing it to me? If I'm treating you like a king, why are you not treating me like a queen? Why should I feel less than? When we got into this relationship, the relationship was between you and I. It was not, I can see if it was an agreement between me, you, and whomever, but it was between me and you and I. So why would I have to compromise how I feel and how this relationship dynamic is based on because you want to cheat on me for nothing? Period. So I just feel like it's unacceptable to me, and it's very disrespectful. Okay. And a lot of men, they can do it to you, but when it's your turn to do it to them, baby, they don't want to forgive. They don't want you to be like, get over it. They want to damn near kill you. You know, you the slut, you the hoe, you the no good, you all of that. You know, so many things, but when they do it, they want you to forgive them. So if you think it's disrespectful on your end, it's damn sure disrespectful on my end.
Mm-hmm. I was talking after the live last week. I was talking to one of the guys, and he said the reason why it bothers men so much is the fact that it's almost like he never knew his woman. I said, well, shit, we feel the same goddamn way. It's almost as if we don't know them either. You know, it's like, dog, wait a minute, this ain't the same guy I fell in love with that just tried me like this royally. Then you find out the girl that he with, nothing like you, which is what helps develop you probably already had some insecurities anyway. He just kind of helped you play on them. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the conversation. But so I think that they believe that we're not feeling what they feel. I think that's probably a bigger part of the issue. They feel, I think they say that they're tough, but they feel we're tougher. Physically, they're only stronger. You know what I mean? Rather he's a young man that we carried and raised from a boy into a man, or his mother did it for him and he became a part of our lives. I think they tend to forget that the feelings that they feel are the same feelings that we share. I think we are more prepared by life to expect it because it happens so often. So thank you, Founder. So we're going to move right along to Miss Jasmine Nelson. You've been so patient. Thank you so much. So you have the floor. How did your man's behavior towards you after he cheated on you make you feel?
Well, I was mad as fuck. Not for the reason you would think. I'm pretty open. I'm a straight shooter. So from the beginning of the relationship, I bared my soul and I left the floor open for him to do the same. He was not at a place in his development where he felt comfortable bearing all the contents of his soul. But he later on made that my problem by saying he had no one to talk to and he needed someone to confide in. So as you know, I had no patience for that shit. So I just believe that it's really important to kind of set a tone in the relationship and say that communication is key. Let them know that they can talk to you. It's not going to guarantee that they aren't going to cheat on you, but at least you've done your fair part. And I felt that as a woman, I did my fair part. Mm-hmm. If you ever want to talk, I'm going to listen. And I'll listen through the rah, the cussing, and I'll provide that safe space for you. So I don't feel that I should have to take you back if you cheat. I did my part.
That's deep. I don't even have a counter to that one. I don't even know what to say. You know, like for me, I'm a fighter. Okay, I'm busting mine in this shit. Okay, and I might not walk away right away, and it might not be the cheating that make me really leave him. It's all the other shit. See, I think that we've accepted so much mediocrity a lot of times in our relationships. To the cheating, it's just so minute to all the other levels of mediocrity that we've already succumbed to. And I think men don't realize that we are in that headspace and that we actually are gonna probably grow tired of the other bullshit as opposed to just the cheating. So when they cheat on, I think a lot of times cheating is almost like that avenue that we are kind of using to let it all go anyway. Because he probably wasn't worth for shit to begin with. Because if you probably ain't gonna fight him, he might not be worth keeping anyway, if that makes sense, right? So I think that a lot of times we are using other things as our outlet to get out of it. And I think a big part of it is, you're right, Jasmine, is that we don't properly communicate what the capabilities or what they have in us. Like, you know, you really can come and talk to me and actually be a listening ear if he ever opens his mouth to say anything. Because sometimes you done dealt with him so damn long, you realize how stupid he is. So when he starts talking to you, you want to hear that shit, you know? I mean, hey, I'm just saying, it's the reality. We all know that. You be like, damn, that's how you really think? That bitch is real stupid. That's how you're thinking about him. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a really good one. I see Stephanie keeps raising her hand, so that means she got something good to say. So thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you so much, ladies, for being on with us tonight. I hope we get some brothers out there watching us so that they'll know where we stand and how it's not always a direct hit at them when we're going through certain things, but that just get over it, and all women have to go through it. And what makes you think something is, you know, like, why it's always got to be this bad? My husband told me 10 years ago, he said, I ain't never met a woman that acts so stupid when she get cheated on. You are damn stupid. That's what he said. I said, bitch, I'm gonna set you clean on fire. Keep trying me if you want. I was gonna put the alcohol on his ass. You know what I mean? Doesn't make it right. I'm not trying to be right, you know, but I don't really care. Stop trying me like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna give the floor back to Stephanie and let her give us some more nuggets for the evening, and we'll just kind of go around the room, and I'll keep an eye on our chat. See if I have any questions for us, and we'll keep going from there. So once again, welcome to my Talk Tuesdays with Happy Bug and the panel tonight of our ladies. Those of you who are just joining, we're here talking about how cheating from our mates affect us as women, as a piggyback off of the conversation we had last week with the gentleman sitting in his very face. So I'm going to give the floor back to Stephanie.
I have no idea what you said, Sheba, because you was breaking up, but I wanted to add on to what Jazz, right? Yes. I wanted to add on to what she was saying. I think one of the biggest issues is that, again, we as women, we go into it thinking that we're only going to get 65% anyway. So we go into relationships knowing that there's going to, at some point, be a level of uncomfortableness. And we are willing to be uncomfortable for the bigger picture. But men, to me, go into these situations, relationships, with the idea that they're going to get 100%, the expectations that they get 100%. Even though they're not giving 100%, they expect 100% from us. And when they don't get 100%, because how can we be attentive 24/7? How can we meet their needs 24/7? It's unrealistic expectations. And anything that makes them uncomfortable, they find a way of making themselves comfortable. And absolutely, when you find out that your man is cheating, like Sheba said, most of the time, most women go batshit crazy. And when you do that, guess what? It's not going to produce a positive results, because the whole point is that most men want to be comfortable. And whatever situation is not making them comfortable, they're quick to run out to get another woman. And that's why you always see most of the time you see the continuous cheating, because they do not want to be uncomfortable. And most women, we are prone to know that when we get in a relationship, there's going to be some level of uncomfortableness. But we are we are we go in and thinking to ourselves, okay, I'm going to fight through this. I'm going to stay and I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to fight through this. It's certain things that he can never do to me. And outside of those things, I'm going to endure. Men don't endure. Period.
Mm.
And when you see one that do endure, right, then he thinks he's less of a man. And to add on, when I say characteristic flaws, ladies, to add on, how many men do you really, really see that will admit when they're not 100%? Most men won't even admit it. You can catch them cheating, you can catch them doing stuff, and they still will say it's not them. And it's not because they think you're going to leave. They cannot admit that there's something negative about them, because if they do, it takes away from their manhood. They're perfect.
I think people are perfect. I think people are just fucked up sometimes, but it doesn't mean that they're any less perfect. I think that sometimes, as people, we set expectations of each other that sometimes are not realistic. And then we expect for people to live up to them. And I know a lot of men do it to us as women, but I think a lot of us women have already set forth those expectations as well. And someone, I can't remember who I was speaking to exactly, but what he said was, it's always, it's a friend of mine named Jamalis. And what he said was, women are always looking to the man that he needs to take care of all these things. He said, but when women get into relationships, no one really sets that expectations upon them. And I thought that was very amazing, because we always say, we've always been told, like, well, my mama didn't really do that. It was a little different for me, but I hear it a lot. You need a man that can do for you. You need a man that can this, and you need a man that can do that. But rarely that you see them have these conversations about, this is what you really need to be to the man. And I thought that was very amazing when he said it, because I had never really quite put that into perspectives. However, as women, we do a lot, certain women, because I'm learning that some women out there ain't worth 2 goddamn red cents either. They ain't worth 2 shits, okay? So we take it into account as to who we are. And we think that all women are good at what we do. And that ain't damn true. You walk into some of these bitches' houses, dirty as shit. It smells funny. Okay? They smell funny. They can't do, and half of them can't damn cook. So the question becomes, if he's cheating, now he has a reason. That's what I guess the question earlier was, is there ever really a reason why? So I thought that was a very good concept when Jamalis brought it up to me. But not Stephanie. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Patricia has her hand up, so she's ready to take the floor. So, all right, Patricia. Unmute yourself. Unmute. Okay, there you go.
I may be a little different. I've only been in this many relationships because I was married for 20 something years. But I didn't go in thinking the person would cheat. I don't have that mindset. The guy that I'm with now, I didn't start dating him thinking he would cheat, because I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm so amazing. For you to cheat, you would have to be crazy. I present what I possess. You ain't gonna find this. They don't make this like this no more, boy. This is, if you go out there, you ain't gonna find what I got. And I ain't talking about sex. I'm talking about all the other stuff.
The whole person.
I offer a lot. I'm not a dummy. I don't have a box of rocks in my head. I'm kind of cute. Hello. I know how to have a conversation. I listen. I can cook. I am attentive. I got a lot going on over here now. I will work. I do not expect for you to pay for everything. But I don't. And the other part of that was that my situation was a little different. I came up with my mom's side and my dad's side of the family, and that's all I saw. was my grandfather took care of my grandmother on both sides. My dad
Right.
took care of my mom. My sister husband takes care of her. My aunts, my uncles take care of my aunts. So no one never taught me that. It's what I saw. So I know that the man is supposed to open the door for me. I know that he is supposed to cover some things and to provide certain things for me. And I'm supposed to do certain things for him. But in this day and time, guess what? You need 2 incomes. Sometimes you need 3 and 4 incomes in the household. We don't live in the time before where I can stay home and he bring home the bacon and I fried up in the pan, taking the plate, bring the plate back, wash the dishes, because you tired. You done came from work, worked all day. Somebody have to have a compromise. I have to compromise that if I'm going to work, I'm going to work 8 hours. If you get off before me, I should come home and there should be something here for me to eat. Or if it's not like that, maybe you should prepare, if that's your job, if y'all have decided that your job is to provide food for him to eat, then guess what? You should learn how to manage our time. That's a problem that we do have. We do not manage our time effectively so that we can be able to provide. Now, when they cheat, sometimes they just, like you said, they just stupid. Just cheating for absolutely no reason at all, just because they can. Hello, I don't think so. And then when you do it back, like you said, you are scum of the earth.
Yeah.
You have to sell a kidney. You have to sell your liver. You have to go out head, booty, and cocks, apologize a gazillion times, and guess what? They still don't take the apology, and they hold it against you for the rest of your life. So do you stay in a situation like that? No, we're different. They do things to us all the time. It's not right. I'm not saying I'm agreeing with it. No. They should not be cheating. They should not do that. And if you do it, can you be more cautious with what you're doing? Wrap it up. Don't have no babies. Don't be getting caught, dummy. You know.
And don't let that all call me.
What you talking about? So, like, if you're gonna do something, be cautious what you're doing. But you shouldn't be doing it. And we do carry ourselves. We are queens at all times. Now, some of us
are not. Sorry.
Us have made it very bad for us that are amazing. Some of us out there giving it up for a hot sausage and a bag of chips.
$40. That's what the new thing say.
The hot sausage and the bag of chips with the pickled egg in the cup. What? What can that do? But if you set a standard for yourself and say, okay, this is what I expect, because I'm a queen, right? And this is how a queen should be taught, should be handled. I should not have to touch a door if you with me. I'm not touching the door. I'm not opening the car door, the house door, the store door. I don't do doors. I'm scared of them. I'll break out and hide. I gotta touch it, and you standing next to me. I'm not doing that. The same way, if we're in the house and I think it's my role, you provided all the food, I should cook. I should get up, make food, and take it to you without you saying a word, because you provided a kitchen full of food. It's different. Right. There's no food in the kitchen, and he looking at you like, "What I'm gonna eat, nigga? What you brought in here? Did you
straight up
bring something? Because you're not gonna eat. So neither one of us gonna eat. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna eat at work. Since you can't bring it here, I'm gonna eat where I'm at, and then you're gonna be hungry. I'm gonna be nice and full. I'm just saying, this guy, it's like crazy, and she's like, I don't understand." And we can't think about their mindset because they don't operate.
They don't think, we don't all think the same. We just don't.
They don't operate the way we operate. They are different. This is the reason, you know how iPhone made one iPhone, they had to do an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
This is why God came into play and said, let me create a woman, because this right here I done made, I don't know what, this ain't operating right. He had to do a better version so it for us. And we messing it up sometimes. We mess up sometimes, and it's never right. Cheating is always gonna forever be the wrong thing to do. But like Stephanie said, it's not a deal breaker for a lot of people, because you may have people make mistakes all the time. We fault all the time. So yes, I may have cheated, and it may have happened, and I may not have meant for it to happen. But things start leading up to that. See, for women, we communicate, and then you end up communicating your panties off. Y'all done talk so much, now you find yourself in a relationship that you done communicated yourself into, and now your panties off. Now you have to be fair, you know. So, but for them, it's different. They just do it. You know what? Oh, that look good right there. Let me see if I can hit it. Then,
right.
Losing it all. I think they're crazy. Bottom line, they're crazy.
You're right. I mean, for me, well, this might really be upbringing, because my Abba, I come up in a plural situation, and my Abba. Did y'all see that? I'm sorry. Y'all see that? Hold on. I gotta put this up here. This is what just. Listen. Sometimes a man want free. I'm sorry, Lincoln. You just fucked me up. Okay. I'm gonna take a minute, but I come in a plural situation. My father had 7 wives. By our culture, that was okay. And what made me decide that I didn't want that for my life was a lot of the pain that I see in cars. Do I feel like it's wrong? I don't really feel like it's wrong. I don't. I just don't want to be a part of it. If that makes sense. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me now?
Better for now.
Is that better for now? I think I'm having a drag. I'm having a drag in communication. Can you hear me now? Okay, no? Okay, can y'all hear me now? Okay, I apologize for that, guys. So, for me, I don't know if you guys heard when I originally started, but when I originally started, this feedback I was giving was that I come up in a plural situation. So I don't think this wrong, if that makes sense. You can't hear me? Can y'all hear me now? You can hear me now. Okay, I apologize, guys. I'm having like a really bad connection issue. But back to what I was saying originally, I feel that a lot of it might be learned behavior. Even the fact that we take a lot might be a learned behavior. Once again, as I was saying before, my connection went really poor and really bad. I come up in a plural situation. So my father had 7 wives in the situation that we were in. And what made me not want to be a part of that for myself was a lot of the pain that I watched happen around the situation. And I think that sometimes women stay in situations. You can't hear me. I don't know why. I think sometimes, can you hear me now? No. This is horrible. Can y'all hear me? That is horrible. Can y'all hear me now? Okay. So you guys might really have a point there that a lot of the things that we do are kind of like learned behaviors and different things of that nature. And although it might be like a really major deal breaker, I think a lot of times we don't communicate in relationships exactly what it is that we will not tolerate either. And I think that if we got into the heads of the mates that we've chosen for our lives, we will already know what he was capable of doing anyway. Do some people lie? Yeah, they probably do. But I think a lot of times we are actually we're actually seeing it and we're ignoring those red flags, hoping that we're the woman that can make him better. And I think that's where the biggest issue at. So now I wanted to talk about Lincoln. Lincoln says sometimes a man want a freak. Let's talk about that, Mr. Lincoln McKenzie. I'm gone again? No, you can't hear me? Okay. Lincoln, sometimes a man want a freak, and we do too. We get tired of the same shit y'all give us too. Let it be really known. We already expect that stroke you got. We get sick of that shit just like you. So maybe you should take your ass to the store and get yourself something that you can make us feel different about what you giving us too, since you the one out there passing around all these judgments. Don't do that to us, you know? And a lot of times guys do that. And y'all women know that to be true. So somebody else can take the floor about this freakiness that Lincoln's talking about. So who will it be? Okay, go on, Jazz.
All right, now let me speak as a very, very sensual and sexual female. I usually end up with men who have sex drives that don't come close to mine. So that's sometimes men want a freak thing. That's all talk. That is all talk. All men talk that talk until they meet a freak. And then when they really meet a freak, now you're tired. Now you don't. Again? More? Are you sure? What's wrong with you? You're a horn dog. No, baby. That ain't always the case.
That's true. Someone be like, he said, don't have sex too much. Well, if I don't want to have a lot of sex, then we go get it from somebody else, and now I want to have too much damn sex. Excuse me.
Squeeze.
Give me what you would probably give the other girl that you get when you go outside.
And then they still cheat on you.
Sandra,
we heard.
Yeah. With somebody who will accept them 2 minutes. Sandra, what you think about that? What you think about what Mackenzie said? That was a good one. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Fandra, can you hear us? Oh, y'all can hear me. Fandra. No? Y'all can hear me? This is horrible tonight. No? Can y'all hear me now? This is horrible. Can you hear me now? No? All right, guys, I do apologize. I'm having such a really poor connection tonight. Can you guys hear me better now? You can hear me better now. All right, I was actually taking the floor and giving it to LaFondra, but I guess she's having some connectivity issues too. I'm wondering if it's actually the way that I'm streaming that's causing so many problems, because I have all my bars. So we'll open the floor to some of our guests to see if they have any questions that we can answer for them, or unless you guys want to put something else on the floor, ladies. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I did have a question. The stereotype of the domestic woman, how she just sets like the model for womanhood. She cooks, she cleans, tends to her man, tends to her children, and every other woman is supposed to be cheated on. How do you feel about that stereotype? Do you feel that still exists? Men are still chasing that dream?
For myself, no, I don't think men are ever really chasing that dream particularly. I think that might be what he feels he needs at home. But I think a lot of times men get into relationships and realize that it's something else that they were ever chasing anyway. And I think that works for me, it works, but I think that it might not work for other people. But what I've grown to understand about life is that what works for other people might be perfect for other people rather than just myself. You know what I mean? And so like for me, when I was married, my husband didn't even know where his clothes were in his drawer, because I washed, dried, and folded every article of his clothes. And when he was on his way home from work every day, because he worked he worked outside and he was always like really tired or always sweaty when he comes in, I would always have those things by the tub when he would arrive home. And because he stood on his feet a lot, I would always be there to soak his feet at least once or twice a week. I would give him a pedicure for sure once a week, but sometimes I would just soak his feet just to make sure that he was comfortable at the end of the run of his day. So for me, those types, that's to me what's necessary. But I see in other people's relationships that that's not necessarily what people consider to be necessary. And all of that I feel like I've done, my husband still did exactly what he wanted to do. And when I later years, like I might have a conversation with him and it might just be something that populates in my thought process. And he says, Sheba, I have no reason for what I've done to you. I have absolutely not one bit of a reason. He said, I wanted to just see that I could get away with it. So I think that while women cheat I think we cheat for a purpose, because I think that we're looking for what we're lacking in our mates. I don't think that men are always looking for what they lack in their mate. I think it's just sometimes I don't know if it's in their nature. I don't know if it's something that they were taught. I don't know. But I know that we absolutely don't cheat for the same purpose. We absolutely don't. So I don't think it has anything to do with you being domestic. I see, like I said, I see some women with some really nasty houses. I walk by them, they have some really stink asses, and half of them can't goddamn cook and all of these things, right? And all of the things that he get from home, he's never getting from his side chick. If you cook for your man every day, she don't have to cook for him. She ain't got to do shit but give him some pussy. And maybe be an ear if he decides to talk to her, because he's not talking to you. But so for me, I don't even think it's anything necessarily that he's seeking. I think it's just opportunity and space that he has. Sometimes he's left too damn idle for a lot of times. That's what I believe is really happening. Patricia, you have the floor.
There's a lot of prior to my current relationship, I would come across men that would be trying to date me, and their thing would be they want to cook for you, they want to do this for you. So I don't think it's the domesticated part that make men be dumb. They just don't, but they just do stuff just to do it. So I don't think that that's it, because now I see a lot of men have a lot of roles have flipped. There's a lot of men that cook for their women. There's a lot of men that take care of that for their women. So, and it's not something that needs to be done. What happened, like she said, in your relationship in the beginning, what has the expectations been set for that? See, in my family, we've watched my aunts and my husband take the plate back. So I want to say that all of my cousins on my dad's side that are married, they all cater to their men. It's like, it's something that we saw. We saw my uncle go out, cook, make fishing, bring the fish back. My aunt clean the fish, cook the fish, serve the fish. And so I think that's true. Most of my cousins have that. I don't know. I'm thinking of my cousins that I'm thinking about. Yeah, most of them that are married, they all do the same thing, because we learned that was something that was a learned behavior for us. It's something that we saw from the beginning. But there are a lot of men that desire to give that to you, even after you not working home all day. They still desire to cook for you. So that's not. I don't think that's it either.
So LaFondra, when you were away, when you were away, Jasmine posed the question, and I want to ask it for you again so that you can answer. Can you hear us okay? No? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I was saying that Jasmine posed a question for us, and I would like for her to ask it again so that you could answer it. I thought it was a very, very good question. Go ahead, Jazz.
I was asking about the stereotype of the domestic woman. Does she set the standard for the model woman? And do you think that men still keep to that image? Are they still chasing that image?
Can you hear us, Fonz?
I can hear you. I can't hear Jazz.
Okay, so Jasmine asked, is like the model woman the domesticated woman? The woman that cooks and cleans and does all these things. Do you think that men are chasing that in their quest for finding a woman? Is that kind of how the question went, Jazz? Okay. Can you hear me now? Fine.
Okay, I can hear you. What was the question?
Do you think that the model woman is the domestic woman? Do you think she's the model that men are searching for when they're looking for relationships? That woman that cooks and cleans and does all these things for her man? Do you think that's the model that men are seeking?
Not necessarily. What I think they're seeking is stuff that they grew up thinking that we would be. That superhero one. That superhero meaning if that superhero, nothing can hurt her, nothing can stop her. If I cheat, she's still gonna be there. If I lie to her, she's still gonna be there. She's gonna be there to bear my children. She's gonna be there to do this. And it's not necessarily them thinking, oh, she's gonna cook, she's gonna clean. I just think they're looking for a superhero, something that doesn't exist. And sometimes we display those characteristics because we don't show how it hurt us to the degree that it hurt us. Because when they do certain things, we so quick to forgive because we grow up thinking, oh, we hear it that oh, when men cheat and things like that all men cheat or most men cheat. So we come into situations thinking that it's possible of happening to us. So we done got to them, we give them this sign and signal that we these superheroes that we're not. So I don't think it's about the cooking and the cleaning and the freak. I just think it's the point of them just wanting a superhero, something that doesn't exist.
Right. That's a really moot point, actually. What about okay, go on, Jazz.
Just to ask you a question on that, because I definitely agree. Do you think that single mothers kind of set that standard, them seeing women able to do so much? Or is that something they go off into the world and piece together woman by woman, experience by experience?
That is a really good question. Well, let me get outside of my head. Let me get my head on the single woman, the single mother thing. I think you might be right. I think a lot of young men who are raised by strong mothers who are raising them without fathers. You can't hear me. Oh, God. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? What about now? This is so horrible. What about now? Now? Can you hear me now? A little bit.
It's really bad.
Let me try to find somebody. Why won't someone else? It's still real bad right now.
Oh, there you go, right there.
You hear me now? That's good. Okay, so to answer that question, Jazz, that's like the phone's ringing. To answer that question, I think yes. No.
You sound like you're underwater.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Yes? Okay. So okay, so to that question, I think yes, I think us women who raise sons alone give them a falsehood as to what to expect from women. No?
It sounds like you're speaking really fast and choppy.
That is so funny. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
You hear me now? Okay. I think we do as women. I think we give that falsehood to our sons. Because I think a lot of times we find ourselves trying to protect them. You answer it, Pat. Patricia, can you answer that question?
The question was about single women. Okay, well, I think I was saying the same thing, that we do give it to, when we are single and we have boys, they think that their women should be like their mom, because they saw their mom take the trash out, they saw their mom cook, they saw their mom clean, got them ready for school, bought them everything. So that could be false. That could be something that we give them that's untrue. The things that they don't exist, they really don't. Not the newer generation does not exist. It's the older generation that still exists, where they do take care of. They're more domesticated. The newer generation is not as domesticated. So my son that's 29, he's not gonna find a woman that's in his age bracket that is in domesticated. Plus, he didn't really see me with his dad in that light, because I was domesticated in the beginning, and then he took over and cooked, cleaned, did everything, so I didn't have to, but they know how to. So it's kind of like tricky being single, because that causes a whole lot of other issues for boys and for girls. And for the person that's single, as a matter of fact, that's a whole other topic though. Being single so long, you forget when you get a man, you're not the man that you supposed to be. Allow the man to be the man. So that's a difficult thing.
Right. And you know, that's really funny that you say that. And we lost Jazz for a minute, but it's really funny that you said that. One time, well, I was in a relationship. I'm dealing with this guy. And we went to the store one day. Now, I am a person that really, really like to go in the store, get what I need, and come out. I'm not one of those people that like hanging out at the grocery stores and hanging out in clothing stores. I'm going in there for what I came to get, and I'm leaving, and it's done. So I went into the store one day with my boo, and I was shopping as if I was there alone. And I thought I was showing him how good I was at the grocery store. But to him, I wasn't showing him. I was taking something from him as a woman that was no longer by herself to do exactly what most women have to do. So it could very well be that we create that falsehood for us. A really good question to ask. Were y'all able to hear that? Oh gosh. This is so horrible. And I'm really enjoying this conversation. I'm enjoying it. And it just keeps chopping in and out and back and forth. Oh. Can y'all hear me now? Fandra, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I The connectivity issue is so bad. I don't know how much longer we actually to go on with this connection being this poorly. Can you hear me now? No. What about now? Can you guys hear me now? Keep talking. This is so flustering. Keep talking.
It's on you talking really fast. Really fast.
This is horrible.
Talk now.
Can you hear me now? Talk now. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so if you guys can hear me, I do apologize. This has been a really choppy night online. I don't know if it's the weather. But I have surely enjoyed this broadcast with the panel that we have. I think a lot of us might be having connectivity issues because we lost a couple of our panelists that was on tonight as well. So what about now?
Yes.
You can hear me? So, I mean, I could go on with you guys all night, but the connection is not allowing us to do that. So I hope that this talk was good. I hope that this talk was beneficial for some people, that it was able to reach those who could hear what you can hear in this process. And it is really bad. I'm really choppy. So if you guys could hear me, we'll be here next Tuesday. As a matter of fact, I'll be here on Thursday. Thursday coming, I'll be live. And hopefully we can connect again, ladies, on another set, on another topic. So I'm going to sign off tonight. So thank you once again. All right, so the Happy Bug is signing off. Thank you. Y'all have a great rest of the evening.